Welcome to Saya the Storm with Brent Curvey, George Trice, and Marcus Pfizer. We weren't here last week. We had some technical difficulties and some logistics, so we couldn't get there to y'all. So if you missed us, we're back. And we all got our setup going on. So I'm talking to the mic like this because I see them do it on other podcasts and they be right up on it. Yeah. So, hey, how y'all doing today?
Man, alive and well, man. I'm gonna keep mine off to the side. So if y'all can't hear me, let me know. I'll scoot a little closer to my microphone, but I'm trying to keep it out of mine so it look like I'm, talking in my mouthpiece or something. But good on my end, man. Good on my end.
For sure.
And everything's good out here in Vegas. I mean, the weather's starting to break a little bit. So, to be hovering around in the 94, 95 is a break for us. So
Oh yeah. We doing that too.
Right.
So speaking of Vegas and the weather breaking, hey, I want to go see Usher with my wife, but I don't want to pay $375.
Bro.
Dude, he jumped the tickets up.
Tell me about it. Oh my God. He's a great performer too. Me and my wife saw him years ago, back in Chicago. But geez, them checks is different back then than what they are now. 375 is like Jesus.
That was that NBA money back there when you saw him?
That was them NBA checks right there.
Got it.
A little bit different. Us by ourselves in a stretch limo, it's a little bit different now. We pulling up in the 14, that's 550 now. We ain't pulling up we ain't pulling up in the 22. No, it's a little bit different now. So but yeah, I mean it's Vegas, he definitely performed. He's a hell of a performer, but Jesus, those shows are ridiculous. The Blue Man Group, all of those different shows. I mean, the Michael Jackson Experience. A lot of people tell me that they're extremely great. The reason why they tell me is because I've never been. Because I'm like, geez.
Hey, I will tell you the Cirque du Soleil shows, that Michael Jackson Experience. I haven't seen the Beatles yet. I even heard, if you're not a Beatles fan, even that one is good. But that Michael Jackson, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but it's that boy nice.
Yeah,
we're
nice.
gonna go see. They got a new one. Next time we come up, they got one. I think it's called the Mad Apple. It's in New York. It replaced the one that used to be there. So they got a new one out there. But yeah, I digress on the Vegas thing. I love Vegas though. I got married out there. Me and Brent was talking about that earlier.
Very nice. Didn't know that.
But we normally start off jumping right off into the games and stuff, but we lost, so I don't want to jump into that right away.
Right. I'm with you there.
But I want to kick us off on a happy note. So I had the honor and privilege to go back to Iowa this past weekend, and it was the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame class of 2022 induction.
Absolutely.
And there were six inductees, and I'm gonna go backwards because I'm gonna talk about the last person I mentioned, but Bill Weeks for football, Dean Utah for men's basketball, Ashley Moss from volleyball, Allison Lacey, women's basketball, Joe Heskett from wrestling. Great story. Joe's going through some things right now, showed up, and was good to see him. And then, of course, my man, Reggie Hayward.
Absolutely.
So
salute.
We talked about, the fact that we're trying to get you a nickname. We'll go into that later. But now Reginald Hayward is no longer Reginald Hayward. He is now Hall of Fame Reggie. That's his new name. You can't call him nothing but Hall of Fame Reggie. So we had a good time celebrating him. It was good to see all those inductees. Bill Weeks passed. His family was there to, accept on his behalf. But everybody else was there. Wrestlers, basketball players, everybody was there to support those fellows and gals. Nice. And so, shout out to the class of 2022 Iowa State Letter Winners Hall of Fame. And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Mike Green and Lindsey Long for putting that together. They my people, and they did a good job. Lindsay was stressed. I didn't talk to her too much out there because she was stressed trying to get this going, but it was a good event. They did a good job on that. So shout outs to them. So
I think Lindsay
wait for a lot of people.
I think Lindsay be trying to. She does such a great job. I think she be trying to make us feel like she's so stressed, and it's so hard for her. She's been doing it for so long. That's why everybody comes to her when they need everything or anything that they need. When we're in town, she does it
Yeah,
a hell of a job
I'm gonna mess with
to take care of
my
us.
headphones real quick. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm just getting some interference on my headphones, but yeah, Lindsay, she did her thing, man.
Yeah, she's such a major. Well, really, her and Mike, but Lindsay's such a major pillar, man. And Iowa State with anything alumni and all of that stuff, man. She's top notch. She's top notch for real.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to pause this real quick.
Headphones.
Yeah, so we get that back. Technical difficulties, but we were shouting out Lindsey Long and Mike Green and all the class of 2022. So salute to them. Revelton, salute to him.
Yes, sir.
There it is.
Got a little ice in mine tonight.
Right.
Yeah, thank you for sponsoring us. I finally cracked the bottle open. Thanks for that.
So sweet.
Smooth. Yeah, it is. And that honey, I didn't know how that honey was gonna be.
Yeah. So, last time we was on, Brent was talking about we had Coke in it. So I'm gonna take it with just some ice this time. A couple nights ago, I took it, neat. There's no ice, and 2 minutes later, I was knocked out. Can't do that no more. Can't do that no more.
That's what's up. So Revelton, thanks for sponsoring us. Three Beers Media, thanks for putting us on. And as we toast with Revelton,
yes, sir.
I want to do a segment where we toast of the game. And normally the toast of the game goes to a player, but for me, we lost this game, but the toast goes to Matt Campbell. He was fired up.
He always fired up.
He was on one where he touched the ref. Like he chest bumped the ref. I'm like, yeah, he might be out.
Larry Stacey 2.0.
I'm like, he might actually be out. Like he was irate and we were there looking at that. But I want to toast to him because he showed that fire that our players should always show. And they've been gritting and grinding this year, and they've been gritting and grinding for all these years, especially all these 8 years under him.
Right.
And for him to show that kind of passion, he's always animated. But this game. We can go and say we can look at the box score. I want to go and I want to say it was the ref's fault. Because I sat there and I looked at some of the calls. One of the calls, like I think it was the roughing the passer call. I think it was.
Yeah.
When he grabbed him by the ankles.
Yeah.
Like
that's tragic. And he had the ball in his hand.
Yeah. And everybody looked around like, where's the roughing the passer at? The targeting call. Like that was a shoulder. Like there was no helmet in like
right.
So I look at that and I look at like that could have taken the sales out of the game. That could have taken it out. But I think that we showed resilience. That's one of the things that I saw from this team last week. Even in the loss, they showed resilience because they could have just gave up and said the refs is against us and we ain't gonna win this game. But they played their butt off and they lost by a touchdown, and we had opportunities to keep going and to win with that. But we and looking at the totals for passing, they had 238, we had 284. Hunter Decker still had a great game despite the 2 picks. You take those 2 picks out of there. Yes, that's a bad QBR, 47.8 QBR. He had those 2 picks, and that took us out of it. And I can't remember if they scored or got any points off any of those turnovers. Brent or Marcus, you remember if they got any points off those turnovers, or were they empty?
Shoot.
I don't think they did. I think they were empty.
They may not have. I don't think they may not have.
Yeah, but
I don't think so.
They beat us on the ground. 66 yards to 123. They doubles us up in rushing. We just couldn't move the ball on Saturday. And that sucks. That we looked like that. Deckers, we lost some yards because he got sacked. He got sacked. So 66 yards to 123. I think that's where we, outside of the turnovers, that's where I feel like we were lacking this past week. I don't know what y'all thoughts are on that.
Man, I was there too. Just kind of personal opinion, as good as we are up front, we didn't get a lot of pressure. And I think that's what hurt us ultimately. Offense is kind of, they mirror each other a little bit. And what Baylor was able to do was pressure us a little bit and force Hunter into some, pretty bad throws. But I think with as good and as deep as we are, losing Frailer right away, I think that kind of hurt us a little bit. And our defense kind of played not passive, but we weren't as aggressive as we have been known to be, I guess, in the Big 12 play. So I think that hurt us a lot because I didn't see McDonald a lot. I didn't see Anderson in the backfield a lot. And with our defense, like those are our key guys, and we need them guys to step up and make plays. Obviously, when we have a chance, but there was a lot of 3-man rushes. There wasn't a ton of blitzing I didn't see. And then when we did blitz, we weren't always getting home and bringing them down because I saw them squirt out a couple of times. They did hose us on one of those that roughing the passer when we did get home. So those guys were playing, they were playing against 12, you know what I'm saying, on Saturday night. So it wasn't just the guys on the field. And refs they set the tempo and the tone early by giving them 35 yards right off the bat, personal foul and all that other stuff. So they allowed them to march right down and score. We answered, but I mean, they were watching us a whole lot harder than they were watching them. So,
and that's one of the things that Campbell said. I mean, at the game, it was like we were never able to control the momentum of the game early on, and he said they needed to be better, and that was true. They never can get the momentum. Like, you can't the refs take you out, but they never could get momentum started.
Yeah,
it looked like something was going, and then it would just, the wind was taken from under themselves.
Yeah.
And still, nevertheless, we only lost by 7 points. When you think about that, defense definitely can play better. I think, Will, he's so good. Once you're that good and you remain in college and, then they're going to prepare for you the next year, so maybe it's a little frustrating for him. In that game, he had, a half of a sack. He's by this time, his sack totals are normally way higher than what they are now. So, it's that, not really pushing the issue, but you got to push the issue. You got to, be as dominant as you are. But at the same time, when that dominance comes and you have success like that, double teams come. They scheme for you and things like that. So, it's no different than basketball. I can recall a couple of times where, they got different pictures of me during the season where it's 4 or 5 guys standing around me, and it's frustrating, but you understand that that's the game plan. For him, he just got to settle in and, don't let it get too deep in his psyche. Take a deep breath, just let the season continue to tick by. And then before you know it, he have 3 or 4 sacks in the game, then the season for his totals and his stats have changed. So to play Baylor that tough, only to lose by 7 with all of the penalties and a lot of things that we had to face, is very promising. Definitely Hunter's first game against, a foe like this, a Big 12 foe. So hopefully he learns from that, plays a lot better the next game and, continue to push.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, 3-1 right now. On 1 in the conference. First test against a ranked opponent. I think that's our first loss against Big 12 at home and in the home opener against Big 12. I mean, we normally win this game. So a couple things there, but I know I still look at the offense and say the offense, Decker did do his thing outside of those, throwing 2 touchdowns, 284. He had a good game outside of those. But I look at our defense and I want to give shout outs to Tampa, Vance, and Vaughn. They each had or assisted on 8 tackles.
Right.
Tampa had 5 solo, assisted on 3 others. So the defensive, they were there. They were in their face. Again, they never gave up. I know it was like 17-14 at the half, and it was like, okay, they came back, we were down a little bit and, we were still in there. But again, like Matt said, trying to get that momentum, but the defense was trying to do their thing. And for us to score 10.5 in the last like 7 minutes, we were, wearing them down, getting them tired. And so, we were playing that in the mouth football, and that defense was doing that. But again, 2.4 yards a carry on rushing is not going to get it done, especially in the Big 12 with some of the competition we got coming up.
I agree, man. Just kind of looking at the Big 12 and who's who. I mean, Baylor's defense is as good as us. It's us and Baylor that are pretty much top in the Big 12 defensively. So, they're really good at playing the rush. They play the run really well. And our offense, on the pass side, we're kind of middle of the pack. So I think we're still trying to find our stride. Just because we had kind of that throw off game with Ohio in there. So, you throw in one of those opponents, you don't really get to, air your offense out or really need to tote the rock a whole lot because, you're scoring pretty easy on simple stuff, right? So
yep.
I think that was probably going to be one of, if not the toughest defense we'll face, I think, in the Big 12. So, like you said, we played them really, really tough. And I think once our offense found our stride, I think we can land ourselves right back in that Big 12 championship.
Yeah. You bring up a good point, and something I was going to talk about is like, I'm kind of glad we didn't have a show last week. Because we coming off that blowout win against Ohio, scoring 42 points. But then to come here and, we still put up, 24 points, but, against a better opponent. Not taking anything away from Ohio, but it gives us something to compare and contrast to say, okay, this is what we were seeing between those two. So it exposes some things for us that, I hope that, Campbell and the coaching staff, build from there. I know before, I think like Reggie talked to the team twice on Friday before the game. He talked to them at like 9 a.m. in the morning. I think he talked with the coaching staff. He talked with the team at like 2:30 that afternoon. Just telling them about pumping up for the defense. So if that's what we need to get the defense going like they were, we need like, Seneca or somebody in there, from an offensive standpoint out there talking to them before these next games. Like, we got to get them pumped up. And, Seneca was out of town last weekend. I texted him to see if he was there because, shout out to Seneca for having a wing stop in Ames. I was going to stop up there and get some wings, but he was not there. So I didn't even go support him because I just wanted to really just see him. I love Wingstop. I love lemon pepper. I don't know what y'all favorite flavor of wings is, but I love lemon pepper. But,
lemon
it
pepper
was
extra wet, man. Got to get it wet.
Oh, extra wet. See?
Yeah, see.
I like to eat with one hand. I don't like licking my fingers all in public and everything like that. If I'm eating at home, I'll get the extra wet,
Yeah.
But yeah, getting some people in there to talk to them boys. But I think like they showed up. They showed us what they're capable of on defense. Having a crisper, cleaner game on offense. We'll put together something, I think, for our next games. Nothing.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, nothing negative on them boys.
To get that tough foe early really, really helps. To lose by one score, of course we would have preferred to win, but to lose by one score against a team like Baylor, it's not a run in the mill, ranked 16 team in the nation. Those Texas teams are tough, as we all know, and to play them extremely well, at home, like Brent said, their defense is as tough as ours, if just as better. So to get that early, to understand the spots that we missed, the things that we did do well. I know there's been a lot of film room work going on this week, which is absolutely needed. So that really prepares you for the next game. Whenever you play the top teams in the conference, and you win or lose, but especially lose, you're definitely gearing up for that next one.
Yeah. We're gonna get into that next one, but we're gonna take a break on here as we normally do. Give you all the opportunity. We kind of changed the beginning of our intro. So you all, I don't think, know about that, but I talked to our producers and said we don't need that long intro in the beginning. Showcasing what we're doing, we can showcase that here. So, you know, it's going to be a new intro on there the next week when we do, or tomorrow when we do this. But anything you want to shout out from the work you're doing with your nonprofit, Marcus, and then what you're doing with, you know, I know Coaches Colossus is open now and everything now, you know, couple weeks in, about a month in since the reopening. So anything y'all want to send out to the fans?
Well, yeah, I mean, just me and my wife steady doing the exact same thing we've been doing for the last 8 or 9 years out here in Vegas. You know, just trying to do our best that we can to assist and be servants to, you know, the less fortunate and the homeless and the people that's needy out there. Here in Vegas, it's a ton. It's a ton. You know, there's a lot of things that go on. People get lost here. You know, one of the last gentlemen we spoke to, he said that, you know, he had a business partner that, you know, they were from overseas. He had papers and he didn't. And so once the business and everything started rolling and everything was good, because he had papers, he just kicked them out, and now he's down up under a bridge, you know, trying to live. And you know, things like that is definitely hurtful. So what we try to do, we try to connect with a lot of the food banks and things around here, that's, you know, helping the needy. And we go by and, you know, we fill up the vehicles full of, you know, sandwiches, bread, and all that different things, waters, and we go out and, you know, we try to give out as much as we can to as many people as we can. You know, we out there 4 or 5 hours at a time. We jump from spot to spot. Sometimes it's up north, sometimes it's out west, sometimes it's in the southwest, just depending on, you know, whichever way the God lead us that weekend. We typically do it every other Sunday, you know, so we get everything in line and get all our ducks in a row, and just, you know, like I said, try to be the service that we can to help, you know, the less fortunate.
No doubt. No doubt. Good work, sir. What about you, Brent?
Man. We are obviously been open now a couple of weeks, man. So got our wheels fairly greased. Getting ready to kind of walk into the breast cancer awareness October. Mm-hmm. Breast cancer awareness here coming October. So we're going to be doing just a couple of special, you know, extra donations and whatnot. We have our own personal actual breast cancer fighter, I should say, one of the employees that works for me. I don't think she listens to this, so I'm not too worried about her hearing it. But we're going to do something surrounding breast cancer just to show a little bit of extra support. Our boxes, I guess, for our collages are typically black, but we ordered a ton of pink boxes. So
nice.
We're doing that, like I said, just to bring, you know, extra awareness. And then, you know, taking extra donations. We're working on which organization we'll donate to. But, you know, just for the month of October, man, anybody that comes in, we're donating a portion of the proceeds there, just to the breast cancer awareness and sort of research.
Nice.
Whatever we can do to, you know, help those that are in need and help keep them strong to fight, you know. So
I'm gonna have to I got a box of golf towels with the Trice Legacy Foundation logo on them, and they happen to be pink. I did that for last year. They're in my homegirl's garage in Windsor Heights. I'm gonna get her to get those to you, and you can give those out and do what you feel with those pink towels for the month of October.
Nice.
Right. For all of 7 minutes away from Windsor Heights. So
she's right. Yep. She's right down the street from Craig Hunt Barbershop down there. Yep. You know, so you know, yeah. So I'm gonna get her to get those that box to you, so you can do something with those as people buy that. Throw them a golf towel. You know, it's 100%. It's all supported, all love right there.
Yes,
I like it. I look forward to it.
Hey, no doubt. I'll get that working. You know, and we talk about, you know, as we support and as we, you know, we talk about what we're doing here, and as we bring people in, we mentioned Seneca, we mentioned Reggie. You know, we want to get some new segments. We talk about new segments, and one of the segments was like the tailgate tips, as we, you know, this is tailgating season, and so I had the privilege and the honor of being with Mike Nurse last
Joe
week.
Boog.
Yeah, Joe Boogaloo was out there. Marcus, he has not changed a bit. We should have FaceTimed you. He has not changed one bit, man.
Do you really expect me to think that he has?
With kids, been married for 16 years, I thought that he would change. Brent, you don't know. I don't think you've ever met this man.
I have.
This man is wild. He is, you know, he is wild. Teaneck, New Jersey, stand up.
Oh my God. Yeah. Good guy though. A hell of a guy. I mean, just will give you the shirt off his back, hard nosed, tough. He's going to say what's on his mind each and every time. It doesn't matter who it is, with a drink in his hand or not. It doesn't matter. That's how my man is. We played together for 2 years, and he opened it up a lot for me on the inside. He was that knockdown shooter from the outside that a ton of the guards were scared of because they didn't know what they was going to get with him. He want to fight you 1 minute, the next minute he's shaking your hand, the next minute he's shooting a three in your eye. So that's my man. That, like I said, 16 years, 20 years, 30 years, I don't think it's ever going to change.
No, we had some fun. We brought up Clint Varley. we was bringing up some old names, man. The Bruiser, Clint Varley, but we he wants to get on with us, and we want to bring we want to start a segment called Tailgate Tips, brought to you by Magic Mike Smoke Meats. He has a smoking business up in Teaneck. It's a catering business, fairs. There's no brick and mortar, but he does travel all across the New Jersey area. Up through the winter. But if you're ever out in that Teaneck, New Jersey, look him up, find out where his truck's going to be. But starting next week, we will have some tips from him as you prepare your tailgates for the following week. So look out for that new segment coming. And you love hearing from us, but you want to hear from some other people as well. So we will start to bring some guests on. And I also I've been saying it's privilege and honor for a lot because I've been meeting some legends. So at the event, I reached out to Coach Mack, Coach Dan McCarney. And he happened to be back because Reggie asked him to come back. So he came back, and he was at the event this weekend as well. And I had already sent him a message like a week before that to ask him to be on. He said he'd be honored to be on with us. He respects all three of us for that. And so Coach Mack can't wait to join us next week. So we'll have Coach Mack on. See what he's gonna say. Maybe he'll throw in, because I know his wife Margie, she does a lot of nonprofit things, and so I want to do some work with her here in the future.
Nice.
Marcus, you'll be able to ask him some things about what she's involved, because she's involved in all that stuff.
Absolutely.
And hold on. And Dan was in a full suit out tailgating on Saturday. A full like cream suit, sunglasses on, kicking it, shaking hands, kissing babies. I'm like, Coach, what's up, man? You're like, you was smooth. He's still a smooth dude. So
he won't forget anything.
Join us next week.
That's all right, man. I look forward to that one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been some years since I've seen Coach. Always respected him. Since I came in my freshman year, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of struggles. That's when Nebraska and K-State were those top dogs in the Big 12. But he always had them tough teams, and he stayed with it, and eventually came around and had those 99, 2000, 2001 teams, and he had a lot of success. So I look forward to that one.
Yeah. It's what we're doing here. It really is. I think it really is the epitome of that hashtag Cyclones Everywhere. Jeff Johnson has done a good job with Cyclones Everywhere, the alumni associations in different cities and things like that. I've had the privilege to work with him and start a couple chapters in places where there were not chapters, but Cyclones Everywhere. It's a family. Reggie, I think, said that in his speech a couple times. It's a family, and repping Iowa State to the end. That's what we do. And so to bring on legends and future legends of the game, from current sports we're talking about to future forward sports, whether it's softball, wrestling, I know Joe Heskett, he doesn't really talk a lot. He always but he's always listening, he's always there and supporting. Zach Thompson, I saw him this weekend. Sion, I saw him this weekend. Like, it was a whole bunch of people back, but we're gonna make sure Cyclones Everywhere is represented in what we do.
We gotta have Reggie on here too.
Yeah, we're gonna get Reggie. We're gonna get Reggie. Sure. Maybe him and Coach Mack can come on together next week. We'll see what he's up to. So they can banter back and forth, talk about Hall of Fame, talk about what they want to talk about. So maybe we can make that work. But we'll get Reggie on here. We're gonna get some people. I know basketball season. You said Jamal Tinsley wants to jump on. We fans, we are not going to tell you when, because we don't really know when he'll show up. We're just gonna say special guest.
Right.
You got to tune in. So that
Right.
keeps you intrigued to tune in to see who our guest is, because we don't know when he'll be here, but he will be here maybe one day. You know,
going to keep our fingers crossed on that
one.
But he's the guy. He's the guy. But before we talk about next week, we did have a Twitter poll. Now, I don't know how to work Twitter. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how to work Twitter fully. I saw three names. We got 3 names for Marcus that I saw. There could have been more. You know, we got Big Play. We got George the Show. You know, and I saw out there, there was one, it was the Benz. Marcus the Benz Pfizer. Big body, silky smooth. That's what they said in that tweet. We had Marcus the Prize Pfizer.
That's not bad.
The prize. I like that. Was a good one.
That's not bad.
And then Mim's Daddy. Of course, we had Mim's Daddy. Co-signing on Mim's Daddy.
It was a bunch of them Mim's Daddy.
That was on there a couple times.
Can't do that to my man. Chris is a good friend. We're in the same draft. Chris is a good friend. It just happened that, it was either him or me. Either him or me. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're gonna keep it open because we didn't get a lot. We want to keep it open for one more week. Let's keep it open for one more week, and then let when we're talking to Dan next week, Mr. McCarney, we'll get a winner, and they'll get a Trice Legacy polo, courtesy of the Trice Legacy Foundation. You all threw a plug of what you were doing. The Trice Legacy Foundation, johnjacktrice.org is our website. The next thing that we have coming up is I will be traveling back to Ohio this fall to East Tech High School in Cleveland. That's the high school that Jack went to and some of my other family went to. And so we've decided as a foundation that we will give the first scholarship for next fall to a student from East Tech, no matter what school they're going to. We are going to give our first scholarship out to an East Tech student. They don't know yet, but I'm working with the Alumni Association to show up at their college application day. I went there last year to announce what we were doing in Jack's name, but the plan right now is to give the first scholarship out for next year. So we will start that process, getting the application out to the students, and start that process out early next year for the fall. We want to make sure that, we support and bring people from the area, a great area of impact. And that's a big area of impact. It's my home, it's Jack's home. And we want to make sure that we support that way. Right now, also, we're raising funds because there was a story last school year, especially during COVID, when schools were shut down. There were, people that would go to the bus lots, and then like to the libraries. The libraries broadcast their Wi-Fi from like 6 a.m. to 11 at night, so you can park in their parking lot to just get homework done. So what we're doing now is we're going to be purchasing about 4 laptops and 4 Wi-Fi devices to offer some students out, and juniors and seniors out in Cleveland area that don't have access to good internet or technology. We're going to be giving 4 students a laptop and a Wi-Fi device on the Legacy Foundation so that they can further their education from home. And with those devices, 5 people can join. So brothers and sisters that need to get Wi-Fi access, they will be able to get Wi-Fi access as well. So that's what we're working on right now. We will be announcing those on our website here once we do select some students this fall for that. And then in May, we will be having our first scholarship awards dinner. So the award winner will be announced at that dinner, and that will be on Friday, May 12th. Locations to be determined. We might do it at East Tech or do it downtown Cleveland somewhere. But May 12th, 1902 was Jack's birthday. And so what better way to commemorate his birthday, starting off Mother's Day weekend, that Friday, May 12th of 2023, having a charity awards dinner to announce this student that will be going on to college and part of our award, and going that way. So
nice.
So that's what we're planning on doing there.
Dope.
So trying to do good work, I was afforded some opportunities, for one, because of my name at Iowa State. But I was afforded opportunities because mom realized what she needed to do to help me to be successful. And all we can do is do better each day, take one more step than we did the day before, and help when we can, and not hurt when we don't need to be hurting anybody. And so the family, community, and education are the three pillars we stand on, and that's what we're trying to do: raise them all up.
Yeah, I mean this next generation, these young kids definitely need a lot of direction. You never know what background they come from. You know, me born and raised in Detroit, there's a lot of things I had to overcome growing up as well, and I ultimately felt like moving to Louisiana was better for me to finish my high school career, and was blessed to have foster parents that took me in, or actually related to my mom. So it was still family, but my foster dad, my guardian dad, is an ex-Marine. So that discipline has really kept me, on track. It made me want to be successful. It made me want to, not to be a knucklehead and, getting in trouble, going to jail, yada, 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 all that different stuff, doing drugs and all that stuff, because someone showed that they, cared, and was there for me. So he put me in a position to where I was able to be seen, from a small high school in Louisiana. Ultimately became a McDonald All-American, which, I credit it definitely to him for all of the places that we traveled to get me out on the scene. So to have that opportunity to get a scholarship at Iowa State, and the rest is history. So you never know what form it will come in. There's students at in Ohio that may not have that opportunity. That's going to change someone's life tremendously, and it's probably going to be a lot of tears in the eyes, especially from the parents and from the student. And we definitely commend you for that.
I appreciate that. No doubt. Cheers up, Revelton.
Yes, sir.
Revelton. Okay,
yes,
hold on. I gotta pour some more in there real quick while we talking before we get all sentimental. Let me.
Mine is good. Real quick. Mine is good and right.
Mine on the way out.
So it's interesting as we look at going into next week's game.
Yeah,
I saw something on ESPN that claimed Kansas and Alabama for the national championship. Now, I saw that and I had to read it a couple times. I don't know if it was quote unquote fake news or what it was, but Kansas and Alabama, like, they're saying don't sleep on Kansas. Now, I didn't even know Kansas had a football team until like this year. We beat. I mean, like they just have not been that powerhouse, but they are 4-0. They're 4-0 right now. We're 3-1. They're 4-0, and they're 1-0 in the conference, and they're leading the conference right now, which normally they are not beating Big 12 teams like this. So, we are still favored by 3 points in the game, but I mean, I have to give them some respect. Like, I got to put some respect on their name because they've been balling, and looking at them, they've been doing some things out there. So I'm impressed with KU. Last KU basketball, this KU football now.
Yeah. Last week I think they played Duke, right?
Huh?
So I think they played Duke last Saturday. I think ESPN was talking about how those two teams are typically basketball teams. Their football teams are typically not good. Duke or North Carolina won. I think it was Duke who they played. But at the time I was, the same way. Well, Kansas, and I didn't actually watch any other game. Didn't even know they won, and definitely didn't know they were 4-0. So I mean, that's good to see. But I still have faith in our guys. Think we're a little bit stronger. You can start off good. It's how you finish. You can start off bad, but it's how you finish. So. That Kansas against Alabama for the Natty, that's a bit of a stretch, but
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. This ain't buy or sell. I'm not buying it.
Right.
But let me give you some stats for that ass right here. Look at this. 56, 55, 48, and 35. That's the amount of points that they have scored. I don't ever remember them scoring that many points in the first 4 games of any season or combined for like a year. And, that shows something. Their offense, it looks like they have a good offense right there. But on the flip side as well, they have given up 42 points, went to overtime against West Virginia. They gave up 30 points against Houston, Brent, your hometown, and then they gave up 27. 27. Duke scored 27. Yep. The most that was scored on us this year has been 24, and 31, and that was Baylor. Yeah. But we've had 10, 7, and 10. So our defense is going to be better. So our defense will cut those high scoring points down, but they have some scoring opportunities. And so our defense, I feel, is what's going to need to step up this year, this game, because they're allowing 27 points a game. So I mean that's what they're allowing. Yards 471, they're allowing 471. I mean, that's what they're averaging, 471. So they're averaging more yards than us right now. But we did have a bad showing in our defense this past week. But it's gonna be a game for to watch. It's gonna be a game to watch. I'm excited to watch it. I'll be on a plane when it comes on because I'm flying from Charlotte. But hopefully I can be able to watch ESPN2 on the airplane and catch the game in the morning.
Man, kind of break that down, man. I was kind of looking through it. I mean, I've seen a lot of the highlights and stuff, but as hard as it is to stop a running quarterback, I think we have the perfect defense for that. Mm-hmm. Their leading rusher on their team is their quarterback. Mm-hmm. So good thing, maybe, right? Because having a quarterback that can run, you always have to account for an extra defender. You need somebody else to account for that quarterback. So, I mean, that's all well and good, but we got the top ranked defense in the Big 12. Like I said, their defense is, I think, 8 out of 10. Offensively, they do okay. I think knowing Haycock, he's going to make the quarterback throw the football. And if we make him throw the football, we win the ball game. Really, we need 3 stops and we'll win, in my opinion. They're a high-scoring offense, but they're big-time runners too. So, and obviously when you got a scrambling quarterback, that sets up the pass, majorly, because you can't bring a lot of pressure. But I don't see McDonald having a sleeper game again this week. Him or Anderson, for that matter, especially with a guy like this. So I think they'll turn them loose and let Vance kind of spy him, and we'll clean this clock real quick, make him throw that thing in the air. So I think we get a couple picks this game too.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely think this is going to be one of the games that we focus in extremely hard. Because it's one of those ones that can surprise you, but at the same time, when you cross all the T's and dot the I's, it should be something that we come out with the victory. With our defense, they hadn't faced a defense like ours. I don't think Tennessee Tech is that good offensively or defensively. West Virginia, they outscored them. It's not like West Virginia, had a problem scoring against them. They scored 42 points, and Houston, like you said, got 30 points up on them. So as the season goes by, I'm sure that running quarterback has taken some wear and tear, and we're gonna lay some lumber on them as well. And so we looking forward to coming out with this one as a victory, and we both being 4-1 at the end of Saturday night.
It is.
Yeah, I don't want to give up them big plays. I mean, if he's carrying with his feet, through these games, 38 carries, he's been carrying the ball, having it in his hands. So we gotta know that. I'm hoping that Campbell and the team is seeing that in the film to say, hey, keep your eye on this dude. Like, you keep an eye on him, because I think that's one of the things that teams weren't really prepared for, is that mobile quarterback. Right. Because they were sleeping on him a little bit. So I mean, but we play them every year, so it's not like we don't know what they're capable of. We know them, we scout them. So I don't see it being an issue. I think we'll win by more than 3 points. I'm confident we'll win by a touchdown to 10 points on this game. I think it'll be a very good game. The way that they've been playing. But I think we'll win by about 10 points on this one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the little adversity that they're going to run into with us, which they hadn't really seen offensively and defensively from any team, the 4-0 that they face, I think is going to be a challenge for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think we up by 10. I think that's a good a touchdown in the field goal. I think we can win by that, no problem. Like I said, we get 3 stops, we'll win. Just because their offense is one of those high-powered offenses. They have to, they're running gun, but we shut the quarterback down. I think his average now is like 80, 84, 85 yards a game. So I think we keep his rushing yards under 50. We win the ball game.
Yeah, I'm looking at, he's only thrown 1 interception this year. He's thrown 11 touchdowns, 1 interception. So he's pretty accurate. He's at a long of 73. So he's throwing a deep ball. He has an arm. So we just can't get beat in that secondary. Just can't not getting beat is going to be a key to this game. It should kind of shutting that passing game down. They get a couple breaks. I see Lachlan on their team got one pass for 60 yards. That's the only pass he caught all year. That was probably just a defensive breakdown on that. So as long as we don't have any mental mistakes, it's about the mental mistakes. It's about keeping our mind right and keeping our mind sharp. I think we learned a lot this week by getting tested with the calls this week and playing through that adversity. I think that we have gotten our mental state right. So I think that, like I said, I think it'll be us against them, and I think it's gonna be them or it's gonna be us, and it's gonna be us. So I'm looking forward to this game. I'll have to catch the highlights. I'll have it recorded on my ESPN app, but I'm looking forward to that game. And knocking them down and being tied with them 4-1, and then 1-1 in the conference. So I think that'll be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, as we wrap up what we're doing, we're getting about 10 points. Mark, do you agree with that 10 points? What's your prediction? 10?
I think we're going to win by at least 14. I think we can put, 2 touchdowns on them. I think once we close that passing window, like you say, he's had a couple deep balls. We get a couple hands on those, a couple interceptions. That's going to close that window for him extremely tight. So hopefully it's going to speed him up a little bit, do some things that's uncharacteristic. Hopefully we can capitalize off of a couple of those turnovers. I'm looking forward to, Will definitely having some sacks this week. We're going to manifest that, 100%. Get in that backfield and cause havoc on them. And like I said, speed them up. And I think we're going to win by 14, by 2 scores.
All right. Like it. And Brent, what you think of 10 too?
I think 10. I think 10. I'm going to tell you who I think will be a big-time game changer, though, and that'd be Frayler. I think Frayler will be a big game changer for us. I know McDonald's going to do his thing, but I think Frayler and him missing pretty much the whole game last week,
right,
and his addition this week with the mobile quarterback and his ability to, break up any deep balls for that matter, I think his addition this week will be key to our victory, the way he plays.
So with him being ejected for targeting, how does that play this game?
Because it was in the first half of the game.
In the first half. Yeah.
He's back.
So
okay,
if it would have been the second half, he would have had to sit out the first half of the game and come back. But because it was the first half of the game, he will be able to start the game.
Yeah, that's still stupid regardless. But okay.
Yeah.
It don't matter what game you kick him out. You kick him out. You kick out a basketball player, in the second half, he's going to start the next game.
Yeah.
Just let him start the game.
Yep.
But that's good though.
Yep. So we'll have him right away. So he'll be playing with a fire. He's going to be more aware of what he's doing. He's not a dirty, malicious player. He was just doing what he was taught to do. So,
and it was clean.
It was clean. The ref. Yeah. And on that note, before we start getting on the refs, what did they make? What did they bookies make? What was going on out there? Well, how much did they get on that game? Because it felt like they was paid, but that's not me to say here or there. So until next week, I'm George Trice signing off.
I'm still Simple Marcus Pfizer. Until next week.
Brent, Big Plate, Curvey. We'll see y'all next week, man.
Hey, holla at y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Revelton. Thanks, Three Beers Media.
Yes,
and thank you to fans for, we had 100 downloads. We want more downloads. Share with your friends. Sigh of the Storm with an E, CYE. That other one, don't even listen to them. We got all the rights. So
right.
We'll holler at y'all next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Go Cyclones.
Go Cyclones.
Go State, baby.